Song of the day coming to you from the Rock Cave. I'm your host, Mark Pierce. It's Tuesday, Tasty Tunage Tuesday. It is subjective laboratory time. Not really, but in some cases, yes, right? I mean, it's amazing how I always think about how some people are just so passionate about some bands, and I'm just like thinking, that's not happening for me. But anyway, those bands are luckily few and far between when it comes to rock and roll. Hope you guys enjoyed yesterday's episode. I turned that one out pretty quickly. But Jay Giles band, like I said, the ultimate house party band. I hope you listened to some of the stuff, the deep cuts I told you to play, because it's darn good. Darn good. What are we talking about today? Today's a tough one because every time I hear a song by this band, I'm like, man, I love this band. And there's no anniversary or anything today, at least not that I bothered to look up. But I was like, you know what? I'm just dealer's choice. I'm just playing what I want to play. And you think it would be pretty easy because I picked R.E.M, right? So you're like, oh, that's easy. But it's not that easy because, I mean, I have covered R.E.M here in the cave, of course. But so much music. I mean, so much music. I mean, I think they're part of the 50 Club, which is a band that has 50 songs or more that I can say I actually like. And we've been through that list before, but R.E.M, I'm pretty sure, is on that list. And so it was tough. I went looking through the lists of things, and I was trying to remember the song I heard last week that I was like, oh yeah, I'm doing that one, and I couldn't. And there's no way that I can find it in the list of their songs with their albums because it wasn't obvious to me, and there was just too many great choices. So we've covered Out of Time a couple of times because that's a perfect record for me. But there again so many other choices, and I've got lots of deep cuts. We're not doing that today, but we could do more deep cuts. We're going back to October 1984. Where was I in October 1984? That was fall of my junior year in high school. Yes. October 84, they dropped the second of two singles off their second album. So the single is Don't Go Back to Rockville. The album is Reckoning, and this is the follow-up to their smash debut, Murmur, which really probably got the most of its recognition a little bit later. But the single was released October 1984, Reckoning, April 9th, 1984. So many birthdays on April 9th. We know like 12 people with that birthday, including my wife. And amazing. Don't Go Back to Rockville. When you look it up, it says it's alt country or country rock, right? I mean, these things didn't exist when that came out. There was no term for that. Yes, it feels like that when you listen to it, but we didn't know. We just know we liked it. Again, my introduction to R.E.M, dishwasher at Summers Inn in Summers, Connecticut, and I'm in sophomore, junior in high school, and there's a college student cook at Tufts, and he's got that EP. So this was their second studio album, but they had an EP first. Chronic Town, which I have the cover right over there, which is amazing. Wolves Lower, Boxcars, I mean, all these great songs. But that's what got me hooked on R.E.M. And went off to college, and it turns out that's where the R.E.M. fans were when you went off to college. But this record, Reckoning, went to number 27 in the United States. It only hit like number 90 in the UK. And a little bit darker themes than Murmur. There were some water themes throughout this record. But this is a great song, Don't Go Back to Rockville. Other songs off this record I'll mention, because we heard this just 2 days ago, my wife and I, and I said, this is one of those songs no one knows the name of, and the song is South Central Rain, S-O, so South Central Rain, so Central Rain, South Central Rain. Never says that in the line of the song, by the way, and as a matter of fact, they performed it live for the first time on their debut of national TV, October 6th, 1983, on David Letterman, no less. They performed it. The song didn't even have a name. Maybe they just threw that name out there because everyone thinks the song's called I'm Sorry. And even you'll see it in parentheses, I'm Sorry, in some places. But the song is South Central Rain. Also on this record, Pretty Persuasion. Awesome song. But pretty amazing. But the other piece of what you need to know about Don't Go Back to Rockville is they were singing it already live after Murmur and before this record. But it was a different version of it. They were going to release it as a non-album single. They decided to wait. They had like 22 songs for this record, by the way, and they just rearranged it and made it more like a country song, which is what it is. But every time I hear Don't Go Back to Rockville, I turn it up and I sing it. And how do you not? It's so catchy. Even if you're not a huge REM fan, how can you not like Don't Go Back to Rockville? I want to know. I want to hear from you if that's the case. I want to know if you don't even like REM at all. How can that be? There's got to be at least some songs you like by them. How can that even be, I say? So much so, think about, oh, Mark, who's your favorite band, right? And a lot of you out there would be like, oh, he's going to say Pink Floyd. It's Roger Waters' Pink Floyd. And that's true. He's up there. But and that's who we want to see live all the time, no matter what. But if you go by plays, actual plays, record plays, listening, Tom Petty probably beats that. And REM beats Roger Waters and Pink Floyd. I mean, you can't just sit around and listen to Pink Floyd all day. I mean, you can, but you'd be in rough shape. So REM, I'm saying it here, loud and proud. One of my top favorite bands of all time. The Cure, REM, Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, Tom Petty, and Pink Floyd, and the Cars. I mean, I'm throwing stuff out there. Van Halen. But I'm just saying, REM, sometimes you just got to look yourself in the mirror and be like, it turns out I'm a huge fan. And there was way more music than I could share. So many great songs. And I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. I'll throw stuff at you. Maybe REM will show up every 4 to 6 months. That's just how it is. We're going to wrap it up now, but what do you guys say? You with me on REM? I hope so. Tasty Tunage Tuesday, REM, Don't Go Back to Rockville. I said I would never sing, but occasionally it just happens. Gosh. Wonderless Wednesday tomorrow. I think I have something ready for you. We'll see. Enjoy your day, whatever it is you're doing today. I hope it involves music, and as usual, I'll catch you on the flip side.